Morning. It's June 23rd, and today we are in Second Kings chapter 5. And this is the story of Naaman and his leprosy and how he gets healed by Elisha. And as I read the story again today, I think there's probably quite a few cultural things that are maybe even lost to us now. So we do some speculating and some reading between the lines to find out what's going on here. But Naaman obviously is a Syrian captain from an army that is an enemy to Israel, who has invaded Israel numerous times and has even taken a captive this servant girl who is now working for his wife. And so there's a lot that's going on with that. And it's interesting when the news comes to Ahab, the king of Israel, he is in a panic, thinking that Naaman is going to come down and crush him because of this leprosy, and so he's in a great amount of fear. But the servant girl shows actually the opposite of that, which I think is kind of interesting. She's been taken away from her home. She has been brought into slavery in Naaman's household, and she chimes in and says, "If only my master would see the prophet who is in Samaria, he would cure him of his disease or his leprosy." And that shows an amazing amount of faith, I think, on the servant girl's part, and also amazing amount of courage that she would go and speak up in the household there. Maybe it even shows some love for Naaman or her master's husband, at least, if you want to look at it that way. So lots of things going on in this, but I think what's amazing is that even a servant girl who is living in a foreign country, an Israelite, she has the faith, she has the knowledge that Elisha is indeed a prophet of God. So it shows that there is some remnant of faith among the common people of that time, that not all Yahweh worship has been stamped out. And even though the king of Israel will not trust in God, this servant girl will. So she's an amazing contrast. We don't know her name, probably will never know her name, but she plays a small little role here that is obviously extremely significant for Naaman, and will become a pattern for something that Jesus does in the New Testament too, that he will heal people up in Syria and say that he has found more faith among the Gentiles there than he does in Israel as well. It's an interesting response that Naaman gives, that he's angry about what the instruction is that comes from Elisha. He expected something else, and yet there are instructions that are given to him, and he doesn't want to do. And I think it's really good what his servants said to him. If the prophet had told you to do something, some great thing, would you not have done it? Wouldn't you go to any extreme to be cured of this leprosy? And so he asks you to do something that you find silly, and you decide you're not going to do it that way until they persuade you. And this is also reminiscent of Jesus and his ministry too. That oftentimes there people didn't get what they expected, and they were offended by the fact that they didn't get what they expected. And even though it, the instructions were simple that Jesus was giving to them, so I think it's best for us to lay aside our pride and to trust that God's ways are the best ways, even if we don't understand them, if they seem silly in our eyes. It is better to trust Him than our own devices and ideas. That's it for today.